Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV, episode number 467 for Tuesday, the 30th of August, 2016. Nice to have you here. My name's Robbie Ferguson. Please help me welcome Jeff Weston.
I'm here.
Hey, Jeff. I hear you had some car difficulties. I appreciate you making the trip.
Oh, no problem.
It's a good thing you did, too.
I did.
We have an exciting show ahead. We've gathered up comments and questions via our YouTube channel. And we're going to be tackling those tonight. And it covers a wide gamut of your inquiries, from Plex to scanners on Linux, apt-get package lists, and so much more. You want to stick around and find out what the show's all about. You control it.
All right. Here's what's coming up in the Category 5.tv newsroom. A successful experiment has transferred an entire DVD wirelessly in less than 10 seconds over more than 30 kilometers. Opera's password sync database has been compromised, and they're urging users to change their passwords. Google is going to start penalizing websites who use pop-up ads, and a piece of software allows a standard unmodified USB flash drive to transmit data covertly to a nearby system, even if the system's air-gapped. Stick around, the full details are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV.
Welcome to the show, and thanks for being here. My name's Robbie Ferguson.
And I'm Jeff Weston.
Jeff! I spent the weekend at the laptop doing a little bit of editing, and we were able to release yet another episode of The Drone Zone.
Saw that. Exciting.
A lot of excitement around this. Of course, we were looking at Cheerson's CX Stars. It's the perfect kind of back-to-school gift. If you're looking for something that the kids can carry in their backpack or in their pocket that's not going to get damaged, this thing actually fits, the drone actually fits directly in the controller. The controller
really
doubles as a case.
That's awesome.
And then you flip it open and you pull the drone out and you fly around at recess.
That's cool.
Or in the lunchroom, folks. So, hey, check out thedronezone.tv. Really excited about the direction of the show and all the quads that are coming in for review. Jeff, you can see here.
There's like drones all over the place. It's amazing.
Our audience seating is supposed to be for audience seating, but no, each chair is covered in boxes of drones. So I've got some catching up to do.
Indeed. But I don't think
and
you're
more
going to
come
mind.
every day. No, it's not. It's a terrible job.
That's right.
Terrible.
Flying drones all day. Boo.
Speaking of shows, Jeff, we've been, Becca and I have been looking for, my wife Becca, for those of you who don't know Becca, we've been looking for a new sci-fi show.
Okay.
We did Babylon 5, and we made it right through till we're like 9 episodes from the end. We're so close to finishing it, and I want to finish it for the sheer
just to finish it.
Yep. Just like I feel honor bound to finish the show, but it really went downhill, and I really feel like I'm just watching it because I'm trying to get it done.
The final season did that.
Not just the final season, but some of the later episodes too.
Yeah.
And you know, no fault of the actors, and it's great special effects and great show, but really we're struggling with the fact that Star Trek doesn't start until next year. There hasn't been a Star Trek in so many years, and Babylon 5 was really the next best thing when it came to aliens and things like that. And so we try, you know, we've been watching Battlestar Galactica and really enjoying that, but really missing society and aliens and things like that. So I've been looking for something.
Well, my wife's not a huge sci-fi person, but on Netflix, we have gotten into The 100.
The 100, what's that?
The 100. It is, I don't know if you quite classify it as sci-fi, but it's set about 100 years into the future after a nuclear apocalypse that pretty much wipes out Earth and makes it unlivable. So each society, continent, however it was broken up, I don't remember now, I think it was each nation fired off like a spaceship to orbit around the Earth until
100 spaceships?
No, I think there was 12 in total, 12 or 13.
Okay.
To orbit around Earth. So
that's not the reference to the 100.
No. To orbit around Earth until Earth was inhabitable again.
Okay. So Earth is like basically Cold War kind of, or whatever you call it, nuclear winter.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So the show starts off with them sending 100 criminals to the Earth.
There's the 100.
To report back if it's livable.
Send the criminals.
Well, and that's the
That's
thing
happening
about
on
the show.
Battlestar, where they're using the criminals to do some of the stuff that they don't want to do.
Well, and that's the thing about
Turn
the
them
show.
into
It's
soldiers.
really interesting as to what makes you a criminal, how it gets you in jail, and how it gets. I mean, pretty much every crime is capital punishment. The only ones who aren't killed is anybody who's a youth. So those are the ones who are jailed, and they're the ones who get sent to Earth.
Okay.
And then what happens with this new Earth that has gone through a nuclear wipeout?
Is it dark or is it?
It is intense. I don't want to give away too many spoilers.
Okay,
because
okay.
It hops right into it. About episode 2, we're sitting there going, "Wow!" And we're 2 episodes away from finishing season 2, and then there's a
Okay.
3rd season to go.
Cool.
And I'm just like, the fact that I'm sitting here right now doing the show is killing me because I want to be back at home watching those last 2 episodes.
I'll tell you what we've been trying is we've been kind of sci-fi hopping some of the popular shows.
Okay.
So we tried, is it Falling Skies?
Falling
My
Skies.
notes
Yeah, I
say
think that's
Falling
right.
Skies is the name
Yep.
of it, not Falling Skies. We watched the pilot of that, and through the whole pilot, I was like, really bad acting.
Oh.
The writing was okay. The special effects were great. The production was great, but the acting was poor, and it was very filled with stereotypes, and
Oh.
even to the point of racism.
Really?
Which I was pretty shocked at. Which it just felt like they were just trying too hard to make a show
Right.
to fill this gap of, hey, we have no good sci-fis. Didn't really take on the first episode. So I said on Twitter and on Facebook, is it worth giving it another episode or 2? Everybody recommended other stuff.
Oh.
So
That says
if
something.
you've watched Falling Skies further, then let me know what you think of it. So then last night we sat down for a show called Defiance.
Okay.
Which I've never seen or really heard much about
I
or
haven't
anything.
heard of
Watched the pilot of that, and unlike Falling Skies, through the whole pilot of Defiance, which was about an hour 25 movie length, it felt like we were watching a movie.
Oh, really?
And I was sitting there, and we've got it up on the big screen through Plex on our Roku, and it was unbelievable. It was like I was sitting there going, wow. Through the whole pilot. This is the pilot. This is the first episode. So not only was it good acting, but the storyline was thick. There weren't the stereotypes that we had in Falling Skies in their pilot, and it just didn't feel cheesy. It felt real.
Well, that's good.
It was pretty cool. That one's called Defiance. So I've only seen the first episode of either of those, but I think leaning really toward Defiance as
I would
a
think
show
so.
to watch.
I want to see it, not just because of that.
I haven't even told you about the plot.
I know.
It's kind of a post-apocalyptic world in a way where and same with Falling Skies, similar kind of premise where aliens came to Earth, kind of went to war with Earthlings, and whereas Falling Skies, it seems they're evil. This one they've made peace.
Oh, okay.
But there are still evil aliens
Right.
as well, but multiple races. You've got a lot of different types of aliens, and they're living in society together and making it work, and it's really cool. But it was a really, really good show. If you're looking for a sci-fi, try it out and tell me what you
Interesting.
think.
There's another one that I've seen on Netflix, but I haven't had a chance to watch. It's called The 4400.
The 4400.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like
Okay,
it sounds
I've got
like
a
I'm in
premise.
numbers.
The 100 is doing really well, so let's bring out a show, the 4400.
The premise of this one,
300
just
did well.
from the description, yeah, 300, totally different. But the
Chat room,
description
we're
on
looking
this
for
one
your input too.
is that there were 4,400 people have disappeared over the span of 50 years,
Oh.
and suddenly they all just reappear unaged.
Are these? Oh, did the Greys take them?
I don't know. I haven't watched.
We
it
don't
yet.
know yet. Oh, you don't know.
But that's so I'm intrigued because of that. But that sounds sci-fi-ish.
Agamotto thinks it was a good idea for a show, and Dooley DeVulcan is just reminding us in the chat room that it's actually an older show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently. That's what Dooley DeVulcan says, and he's a Vulcan, so he must know.
Oh.
It's only logical that he would tell the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of good stuff out there. You just have to kind of.
What sci-fi
Explore.
shows are really turning your crank right now as we wait for the new Star Trek? We'd love to hear from you. Comment below if you're watching this on demand, or join us in the chat room, Category 5 on Freenode. Let us know your suggestions for what Becca and I should be tuning into. But so far, it's Defiance. It was awesome.
I still think you should check out 100.
I think I may.
Yeah, it's good.
We like to have a couple of shows per genre.
Right.
So we've got a couple of crime shows. Like we're watching Murdoch Mysteries, and
yes.
we love Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, but it's on hiatus right now as they roll into the next season. And then we've got, in that genre, we've got a couple other ones too. Father Brown is an excellent murder mystery that is not dark, and it's fun, and he's a lot of fun. He's quirky. And then we've got, in comedy, Friday Night Dinner, unbelievable. Probably the best comedy show ever.
Never heard of it.
This is a British sitcom, and it is fantastic. It's this totally dysfunctional family that get together every Friday night for dinner, and a good family, they sit down, even though they don't live. The kids have moved out. They all get together on Friday nights, and the shenanigans are unbelievable.
Huh.
You never laugh so hard as you do when you watch Friday Night Dinner.
What was that British show you and I used to watch?
My Family.
My Family.
My Family.
That was a great show.
That was a treat. That was, and folks are saying, oh yeah. That was a huge show.
Yeah.
And I loved that show. And Chris Marshall from that show, who played Nick, he was the dumb son.
Yes.
What are you doing? What did he say? I'm boning a haddock. Famous line. So Chris Marshall is in one of our murder mysteries, which is, he took over the role as the DI in, what is it called now? It's on the island of Sainte Marie, Death in Paradise.
Okay.
That's a fantastic show, and he took over as the detective inspector. And it's a murder mystery that takes place on an island. It's a fictional island in the Caribbean, and it's good. It's funny, and what's neat about it is a murder mystery, but it's not gory. It's safe for older kids to watch with mom and dad, and a lot of fun for mom and dad. It's got a lot of humor. It's got a lot of kind of tension between male and female characters that never really leads to anything, but there's always that. And it's the key thing about Death in Paradise. The mysteries are astonishing. The writing is fantastic.
Oh, really?
Oh, it is. It's outstanding. It's really, really good. So check that one out as well.
Yeah, for sure.
We're spanning the genres here.
I know, but if there's one show you need to check out, it's episode 471. How do you like that transition?
471 is coming September 27th. We've got a 360 camera that was sent to us to actually be able to broadcast and record the show in 360 video. You're going to be able to.
Why is that though? Why are we?
Why would you do that?
Such a special show?
Well, because it's season 10.
What?
Season 10 starts on September 27th. Can you believe?
I can't.
We've been
believe
doing
that.
this for 9 years. I haven't slept.
That's exciting.
We've had a lot of fun over the years, and we're going to be hanging out with some co-hosts that have come and gone. We're going to be hanging out with some co-hosts like yourself that are here right now. Sasha Dermatis is going to be showing up for the second half.
That's awesome.
Because it is a 2-hour special. Yeah. So you don't want to miss out on that. And, of course, if you are a patron, we're going to be giving shouts out to our patrons as well to thank you for making it all possible.
But the exciting thing about Season 10 is that we kick off a life-changing experience. You will never be able to watch the show the same way again. Season 10 is just...
That's all we can say. Season 10 is going to be an incredible season here at Category 5 TV.
Wild.
Kicking it off in 360 video. What the heck is that, Robbie? Virtual reality. You are going to be sitting in the spot that the camera is. Okay, and you can actually look around. Yeah, you can do it like that if you want, or you can get a VR headset. You can use Oculus Rift. You can use even something like Google Cardboard, which is a cheap way to do it. You can get them for like $15 or DIY. But realistically, you want to buy one because it comes with the lenses that really enhance the experience and give you that kind of 3D view. So you're going to be here in the studio and able to look around. So as someone comes in behind you, turn your head and you're going to be able to see them.
That's exciting.
It's a VR experience here at Category 5, but as Jeff says, Season 10 in and of itself is going to be astonishing. You don't want to miss it.
Agamomo, Agamotto took a guess.
Agamotto.
He's wondering if we're doing free Linux installs remotely. No.
Sure. Go to Debian.org. Go to Ubuntu.com. And it's free.
And you can do it locally.
Download it all you want.
We won't do
Ubuntu Mate. Go for it. What else have we got for you? Our torrent server is up, and thank you so much for everybody who has been seeding our torrents. So the first 8 seasons of Category 5 Technology TV are available as BitTorrent torrents, so you can download the entire season in the highest definition that's possible. So for each season, it gets bigger and bigger, because season 1 was like 240p.
Yep.
Then we got up to 720p for several years, and now here we are in 1080p. So season 9 is going to be a big download. But I appreciate all the seeders who are making that possible. And of course, we've got some seeds here at Category 5 as well. Check out torrent.category5.tv if you'd like to download entire seasons of not just this show, but other shows that exist here on the Category 5 TV network.
Is Drone Zone up?
And the Drone Zone is going to be coming to it,
Okay.
but the way it works is you get the back seasons.
Oh, right.
So until an entire season of the Drone Zone is available, you will be downloading that, watching it on YouTube, watching it through the website, thedronezone.tv, or if you want to download it, through the RSS feeds.
Gotcha.
But then once a full season is done, then you can download the whole thing as a BitTorrent
That
file.
makes sense.
Yeah, it works really, really well. Jeff, we've got to take a really, really quick commercial break. We've got a whole ton of stuff coming up for you, including your comments and questions that have come in through our YouTube channel. If you haven't yet subscribed to us on YouTube, hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please do it now. Click on Jeff's face. Ooh. Yes.
My
also,
face has never been touched so much.
You can just... click, click, click. Oh, you got to go like this. Oh,
my eye!
don't net my nose. And of course, if you haven't yet seen our YouTube channel, go over to cat5.tv/YouTube, or just give us a search on the youtube.com as well. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. Jeff Weston,
Yeah, man.
you're building a brand new, beautiful website,
What?
aren't you?
No. Am I?
Oh, you're a terrible actor.
What?
This is where acting comes into play.
Oh, I didn't know we were acting.
You're supposed to act.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I'm building a really cool website. Are you building a really cool website? You need hosting. One of the things about a hosting account is you don't want to have limitations put on your website.
It's true.
How much hard drive space do you have? How many email accounts? How many domains can point to it? Well, we've got an amazing deal for you. For a very limited time, cat5.tv/dreamhost, for just $5 and a bit of change per month, you are going to get unlimited website hosting, unlimited email accounts on that hosting service. You are also going to receive a free domain name.
Ooh.
So your own .com
Nice.
to put that amazing website that you've been working on
It's
on
true.
there. If you want to build a WordPress site, fine, sign up, cat5.tv/dreamhost.
Just don't put Panama Papers on it.
Just don't do it. But hey, it's a great deal, folks. Best deal you're going to find. $5 and change per month. Go to cat5.tv/dreamhost. This is Category 5 Technology TV. Thank you so much for being here tonight. This is episode number 467. That's 467 hours of free tech TV.
That'll keep you going for a day.
At least that, binge watchers. Screens all around.
Yeah, who needs a new TV show? We need
Yeah,
watch
just
that many episodes of
watch
Cat 5.
Category 5. There you go.
right.
Look at my bald nerd head for an hour.
Or
470.
465
Yeah,
hours.
465. Something like that. Jeff, we've got a great response from our shop this week.
Yes.
cat5.tv/pi. Once again, a huge seller. And I
People are
appreciate
loving
everybody.
those.
I appreciate people buying it. And through cat5.tv/pi, you can click the link to go to the kit. And then what people are doing is they're cross-comparing pricing, and they're saying, oh, well, I don't need the whole kit. I'm going to buy just the board and the power supply and the case.
Right.
And they're doing that, but having followed the link, you're still giving us 4% of your sale.
$5.
It goes
Awesome.
directly to supporting Category 5 Technology TV. And of course, this whole network is available for you for free. All of our shows are free for you to view. They're free for you to download. We do our best to make them easily accessible for you. And we do this for free. We don't take a commission or anything like that as well. We do have to pay the bills. You probably hear the fans going. We've got nice air conditioner going tonight. It was a very hot day here in Barrie, Ontario. And that's keeping us cool. I've got a sweater on.
I noticed
A
that.
hoodie sweater because it was so nice and cozy in here. So I appreciate everybody supporting us through our affiliate links, our partners, and also through Patreon. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Patreon as we go. Of course, you can find out more at cat5.tv/Patreon. Speaking of patrons, we've got some email that have come in.
Yes.
Maybe we're just going to jump right to it, folks. That's
good.
the show. This is your show, my friends. Jeff, what do you got for me?
Okay, so I have an email that starts off with, "What a hassle."
What?
Says, "Hi, Robbie. I'm just coming up for air after a long season of fighting with my TV computer.
This is Albuquerque Turkey.
Yes, Albuquerque
Hey,
Turkey.
Albuquerque Turkey.
Day after day.
Also in the chat room.
Morning till midnight. I'm in and out of the Effie BIOS."
This looks like a big, long email, Jeff.
This is a crazy long email. This is like,
Are you going to get through this?
well, if we
Albuquerque Turkey.
use up the entire show reading the email, yes.
I
So-
wonder, should I take a stab at it?
Sure.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Coming up for air after a long season of fighting with my TV computer, day after day, night after night, I'm still fighting. Albuquerque Turkey, it's such a poetic email. I feel like I'm not giving it the read that it deserves. Let's take it from the top. Coming up for air after a long season of fighting with my TV computer, day after day, night after night, I still be fighting. I've seen so much of the UEFI, I think I might cry. I'm living the nightmare. From MBR to GPT to MBR to woe is me. We'll try the onboard graphics, tried so hard, I even tried an NVIDIA card. Back and forth, over and over. This home theater PC will be the death of me. Ubuntu ain't gonna cut it. Ubuntu Mate ain't work. Zorn 11 won't install. It's being such a jerk. That's it. I give up. I'm installing Windows 7, but even that doesn't work. Perhaps it's time to send this beast to heaven. Nothing will work. Nothing will install. Even compatibility modem smashing my head against the wall. Wait just a second. Min 18 wants to boot. Wonder of wonders, it's working. Woo-hoo! The Albuquerque Turkey is such a turkey. He sends us an email and it's really quite quirky. Still, we promised I'd take a stab at it. What I didn't tell you is that I'd take a rap at it.
Wow.
So that happened.
It has been years since I've seen you rap. That was amazing.
I looked at that email, Albuquerque Turkey, and I figured it needed a rhyme. So thank you for your
That needs to be like
comments.
a regular feature of the show.
Did you catch all that?
Rap and tech with Robbie.
We really set the bar high tonight.
That's, wow. I am pathetic. I've got nothing. Words.
So let's get right into it.
Okay.
We've got your comments and questions that came in on YouTube. You've got them printed out as well.
I do.
Scott Wood messaged us in response to our Power to You show, episode number 465. You
Yes,
were here. We
I
had
was.
our interview, and we talked about that awesome little device. I actually ended up installing one.
Oh, did you?
In our bedroom.
Nice.
Because it just makes no sense to be constantly. I have two of the little wall warts, as he calls them,
Yep.
and I've got my phone plugged in, Becca's phone plugged in. I listen to podcasts all night long, and it's finicky, and you've got all these wires everywhere.
totally makes
I
sense.
love plugging it into this thing. It works so well, and it charges my phone like no other.
Really?
I was surprised. My little Samsung wall wart does
Yep.
not charge as quickly as the Power to You.
Ooh.
I digress. Scott says many devices that speed charge use 9 volts or even 12 volts to do it.
Okay.
All right, I did not know this. Although it is true that a 2.4 amp capable USB outlet will allow the device to draw more power, many of the new devices will not be able to fully utilize their speed charge capabilities from a 5-volt outlet like he was talking about on the interview. Still, cool upgrade, though. That comes to us from Scott Wood on YouTube. Thanks for the comment. All right, good to know this.
Yes.
You asked the question about speed charging.
I did.
I am not familiar with it because I'm behind the times. I've got my iPod Touch 5. I've got my BlackBerry
BlackBerry,
Z10, and I don't think those devices support that.
No.
I've never used such a thing. So
No, I think
it was an
you still
interesting
need to
question.
charge with a wheel mouse.
But I think he as well, yeah,
Just a little
a mouse
running
wheel.
around in his room.
But our interviewee also didn't quite grasp the question as well.
Right.
And so I appreciated that, Scott, you clarifying what it means. So interesting that some devices will take a higher voltage in order
Yes.
to actually charge quicker. That's kind of cool. But as I was saying, my BlackBerry charged up way faster and to a fuller charge, it seems, plugged into the Power 2U versus my little charger that I always use.
That's awesome.
So it was pretty good.
Well, see, I've got the
What
Samsung
do you have?
S7 Edge.
Okay.
So it's pretty new, and I can charge in about, if I drain it to dead, I can charge it in about 35 minutes. So I'd be interested to see how it works.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that
'Cause this has a
super
speed
fast
charge.
speed charge?
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Okay.
yeah. So
So do you
I'd
have to use a special adapter for that?
Yes.
And
It's-
it came
it's-
with it, and it's
Yeah.
some kind of
if
wall
I buy a
wart that you
generic
plug in?
adapter, then it's the trickle charge. It takes me about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
so
difference.
I'd be interested to see how the wall unit does.
Does it hold a charge as long with a trickle charge versus the
Same-
speed charge?
same-
thing? It's
same
just
length.
charging the battery, and it hasn't exploded on you?
No, no, I don't believe so. If it is, then I'd have to put my phone back together.
I actually saw somebody selling a bag that you can charge your devices in so that if they explode, they're safe. And I kind of went,
Are we really at that point with our tech?
I think sometimes people plug things in to charge and then leave them for weeks on end and don't go
Right.
back to them, and so the battery explodes. Sure, that's going to happen. I've seen it with drones. People charging drones and leaving it. You're supposed to unplug it as soon as it's finished charging.
Right.
Well, they'll leave it on overnight or
Don't do that.
through the next day. Not a good idea. And then you wonder why your charger melts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, just not meant for it. Okay. Do you want to move on to our YouTube comments section
so,
here?
Brittany.
Let's do it in order, man.
Oh.
Angel D. Rodriguez.
Oh, I totally missed that.
This one was in response to our comments on episode number 462.
Yes.
We were kind of joking about, does anyone use Yahoo anymore?
Yes. I know. And
What
he
did Angel
says,
say?
Angel says, haven't used Yahoo in a very long time.
And then Michael
Enriquez.
Enriquez. He followed up and said, you know what? Yahoo search is horrible. I love this. I accidentally used it. And it didn't even come close to what I was searching for.
How do you accidentally...
Probably a browser that had Yahoo set
Oh,
as
yeah,
the
that could
default
be.
search or something. It's like when you
Yeah.
get a new Windows computer and it's all set to Bing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, whoops, change it to something else.
Not a fan of Bing search either.
What's your favorite search? I don't think we're going to get a whole bunch of Yahoo as
No.
the answer there.
My default is Google.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than Google.
The open source folks are going to say, Google. But yeah, I like it too. The results are good. It's always accurate, and I'm used to using their search. DuckDuckGo is a great alternative if you're looking for something that's private. Because
Okay.
Google is tracking everything that you do. But
Yep.
I like to think that they're doing that to improve search results and to improve the ads that I see. And sometimes I do see ads that are quite relevant to me, and I click on them and I buy stuff.
Yep.
So it's pretty helpful. And of course, Google being a partner here at the show, they send us checks,
Which is a good thing.
which is not why I use them. But it makes me understand a little more the concept of why the whole way that they do things is important, because when you go to our website or something like that, or watch a video on YouTube, quite often the advertisements that you see are going to pertain to what we're talking about.
Right.
Which is smart. That makes sense,
Very
right?
smart.
If I'm talking about 360 video, why shouldn't you get an ad that has 360 video cameras versus knapsacks,
Exactly.
right?
Yep. And
So it's just the new
one
way of
thing
doing
I
things.
do, I mean, I've tried a bunch of different search engines. The one thing that I do like about the Google search is it seems to pick up changes to websites so much faster. Like
Sure.
if I do an
their API is awesome.
oh, it's incredible. Like if I do a change to my website,
Mm-hmm.
then most search engines will have it within about a day. But Google,
which is good. It used to be 6 weeks.
that's right.
Back when we were starting.
Google, I'm finding it now within about 2 hours.
Wow.
So
I'll post a video and it's already up in Google within minutes.
yeah.
Because I guess, they own YouTube, so why
Right.
wouldn't it be, right?
Oh, exactly.
Makes sense. So thank you for the comments, Angel and Michael. All right, now you can...
Now I'll go to Brittany.
Brittany,
See-
I'm sorry to have cut you off.
It's because of the line on the page, and
I know.
Anyway,
I
so-
put lines on pages and it throws Jeff off.
It's true.
What do you got for me from Brittany?
Brittany says, I'll toss out a couple of ideas on the issue of Plex in hopes of providing some help.
This one in response to our discussions about
From last week.
Plex Media Server.
Yes.
We've talked about it. Last week I had a viewer question
Oh, gotcha.
in particular.
That's right, I wasn't here last week. It was
No,
2
you
weeks
weren't
ago.
here last week. It gets really confusing when you're not here. And so this viewer question came in. Let's see what Brittany has to say.
Okay, so Brittany says, in my own HT environment, Plex Media Server,
Home theater is HT.
yep, runs as an app on my QNAP NAS.
Nice.
It's available from their app store, and it's regularly updated with features. I have Plex clients running on everything from web browsers to Raspberry Pi, Rasplex distro, PS3, Fire TV, and Fire Sticks, as well as smart TVs from a couple different manufacturers. Having done a little research, it appears to me that the Seagate Personal Cloud might support the same setup, although I didn't visit the Seagate App Store to verify the availability. But this thread and a link is provided seems to indicate so. And that's a forum from Plex.tv. So unless the goal is to run PMS on Pi 3, which
That is Plex Media Server, just to clarify, ladies.
sorry,
Yeah.
which isn't a bad goal, I'd look at running it on an NAS. I'm pretty sure Plex runs as a client on Xbox. Yes, it does. I know a few people that run it. I know my QNAP has plenty of processor and RAM to handle transcoding, but you have to check that out on a Seagate. If you did end up running Plex on Pi 3, I don't think there's any special need like Samba sharing on the NAS. You just need to set up the path to the files in the Plex configuration, and the same with photo and audio files. I have much more music, some in HDA, that I do video on my NAS. It should work great on a Pi 3. I want to also say that my Rasplex client is one of the better ones on my network. It's super cool.
Nice.
Lastly, on the subject of Plex Pass, as Robbie says, I think it's just a matter of desirable features, although I'll admit that I was happy enough with the basic product and the work that went into it that I wanted to support the effort with from the jump. One feature that's worth the price for me is PhotoSync from phone. It's a lifesaver. I hope this is valuable. Thanks for the show. As far as the Plex Pass, I'm thinking about getting it.
Are you?
I love Plex. Just the basic software is incredible alone, but the way my current system is set up, I have to. All of my stuff is on an external hard drive.
Yeah.
So I have to transfer that to my computer, transfer everything over, plug it back in, and then Plex downloads it. So with Plex Pass, you can upload directly from your device. And for that reason alone, I'm going, man, that's a nice feature.
Backups from your phone and so on and so forth.
So I think I'm probably going to pay for the Plex Pass. So, I mean, they've got the base software alone is super nice. Then to add those extra features, it's a good deal.
Okay, first of all, Brittany, thank you so much for your message on YouTube.
Yes.
This is in response to Tim A's email that was sent in, and we addressed it last week. I did my best to answer it. What Brittany has put me onto here, Tim, is maybe I misunderstood how that cloud device was interacting with your network and just misinterpreted it. Remember how I said Plex Media Server, or PMS, runs on the Raspberry Pi, and then you have your clients throughout your network? Maybe that's where I was mistaken, because Brittany makes an interesting comment about her QNAP NAS, in that her NAS device itself runs PMS.
Right.
And then all of her other devices are the clients. So when you sent in your question, Tim, it was with regards to Jeff and I building a Plex Media Server Raspberry Pi 3.
Right.
So that was the approach that I was taking. But then I realized after Brittany sent us this message, wait a minute, Tim is actually saying that his NAS can run PMS. So it becomes the Plex Media Server. So then Brittany also puts us on to this, what's called Rasplex. And it is a different distribution altogether. So when Jeff and I did a PMS server on Raspberry Pi 3, what I think you're looking for instead is Rasplex.
Yes.
Okay, and what that does is it turns your Raspberry Pi into a Plex client. So then your cloud device, your NAS unit, becomes the Plex Media Server, as you know. You'll understand that following our comments, my discussion with you last week. But if that's the case, then you can get a couple of Raspberry Pi 3s and throw Rasplex on it. They become your client. They've got HDMI output. They plug right into your TV. And as Brittany's saying, it's one of the best Plex clients that are around. And it's awesome. So check that out. Another thing that you can get is Roku. I use a Roku too.
Yep.
And I've got Plex installed on that, and it's fantastic.
Very good.
But I do like that Pi supports like a USB wireless keyboard and mouse. So you can use that for the search rather than having to fumble through a controller like on the Roku.
Yes. I love my Plex.
Thanks, Brittany. Thanks, Tim. Thank you all.
All right.
What else we got? Okay, Michael.
Michael Riley.
Hello, Michael. You want to take it?
Sure.
All right. Thanks, man.
Robbie, can you address some flatbed scanners with Linux? I've completely switched to using Mate and Ubuntu and find everything easy to deal with except scanning. I need to be able to scan photos as part of my volunteer job as a historian, but I've spent evenings checking message boards, the Sane website, then checking reviews of suggested scanners. I'm still in the dark. Why is scanning so difficult with Linux?
I think that the best thing we can do is demonstrate what we can do.
Okay.
One of the things that you're missing here in your comment, Michael, is there's no details about your system. What kind of scanner are you trying this with? What are you doing? What error messages are you getting? You mentioned that it's difficult, but no details as to what's happening. Are you just not seeing the scanner? I find that scanners are actually quite easy in Linux, and the nice thing about it is, unlike Windows where you've got to install the drivers, Windows 10 is getting a lot better. But traditionally, Windows, you've got to have the drivers, you've got to install them, then you've got to plug in the scanner, and then hope you've got a program that will scan. And sometimes it's a commercial application, Photoshop or something like that. You can use GIMP or something else. Your scanner may have come with stuff. I've tried on Linux, any scanner that I've plugged into it has worked. We've got an Epson EcoTank printer. It works. My old brother MFC, what is it? MFC 6490 CW. The scanner worked great. And then I've got, what do I have here? This is my Canon CanoScan. There you go. Classic. Canon CanoScan, and it says F916900. I know that's not the model, but it might help you find it. Oh, it's an LIDE 35.
Okay.
There you go. LIDE 35 from Canon. It's just got a USB port here, so I'm going to just plug it in. I've got two USB cables here to demonstrate something for you. So first of all, I'm going to plug in the first one that I have.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm just going to plug it in, and I've got Linux up and running over here, so if all goes well, it should just pick it up. And there's not even going to be any, I don't see a pop-up dialog like on Windows that says, hey, installing drivers. No, it's just, hey, you installed a printer or a scanner? It works.
Right.
Done. That's how Linux does things. So when I plug it in, it's done. Should work.
Okay.
Really? Okay, so let's bring up the tool that I love to use here is called Simple Scan. If you don't already have it, it's available in your repositories. It came with Linux on my system. It came with Ubuntu Mate. So now that I've plugged it in, I can click here and let's actually go. Let's see, document, preferences, and you can see, there's my LIDE 35. It's already detected it, and it even sees my wireless printer over across the room and my webcam.
Wow.
But there's the scanner, okay? So it automatically defaulted to 300 DPI. This one's pretty awesome. It goes up to 2400. That's not too bad. Okay, so if I just take the default settings and hit scan,
It's scanning.
yeah, it's making noise. Well, there you go.
Well, that was quick.
It's moving. There it goes.
Oh, nice. And here I was thinking you were going to be scanning just blank.
That's where that photo went. That's where that photo went. It looks like it's taken it just with the cheap little cable that I put on there. I thought we were going to get to show you what it looks like when you have a bag cable, but it looks like it worked.
Okay.
Then I can click on crop and drag this crop line around. Ba-ba-da-da-da. There we go. And then I can click on save and just throw it somewhere like my desktop. Now I've got that file here.
So what's with the second cable then?
I'll tell you in a second. Yeah.
I'm jumping the gun.
Well, I thought that this crummy little cable was not going to work, but it did. So there it is. So you see there's the scan, and I can now work on it in GIMP and fix the levels. Do whatever I need to do. You know how it's done. You've watched the show before, right? That's creepy.
That could be the picture on your tech rap album.
That's it. We're working on it. We've got one track so far.
That's right.
So that just took. Now, the reason I brought two cables here, Jeff, was simply because I thought that this cheap, crummy cable wasn't going to work.
Oh.
Because sometimes when you plug in a scanner, it will try to fire up and then it won't actually move. I've had that happen.
Okay.
I thought it was going to happen with this cable because it's just a cheap cable. If that happens, get yourself a better cable. That's what the second cable was for. I was going to show you. But sometimes with a crummy cable, it will just sit there and you might even make some noise but not scan. And if that's the case, you'd be able to just replace the cable with something a little higher end, and it should work for you. That's as simple as it is for me. I'd like to know more about your setup, what scanner you're using, what trouble you're having.
Now,
and really, it should be that simple, Michael.
Would a basic install of Mate or Ubuntu come with all the drivers that are necessary, or?
Well, the drivers are part of the kernel. So that's Linux in and of itself. So when you plug something in, the kernel says, what you got?
Right.
Something got plugged into USB. This all happens in a nanosecond. The kernel says, something got plugged into USB. What am I going to do with it? Oh, look, it's a scanner. Let's get the driver. Boom. I've already got the driver,
and it does all that in the background, so there should be...
It talks just like that.
Okay.
As you notice, if I go into Ubuntu Mate, which I'm just going to bring up here on my other system, let's just boot her up. Because my main demo system here is using Point Linux.
Okay.
So, I want you to see on a more modern operating system as well, more modern distro, if it boots up here. The Simple Scan should come with it. And as I say, if it's not there, if you're not seeing Simple Scan, try just getting it out of the repository. Use your favorite way of installing stuff and grab it there. But here I am in Ubuntu Mate, and if I go graphics, usually is where you find it. There it is, Simple Scan. And it's ready to go. It's ready to scan documents, so as soon as you plug in a scanner, it should take.
Now, I'm wondering if part of the issue is maybe Michael's trying to load the scanner settings, like maybe it's an MFP that has the scan print, and maybe trying to load the scan through another area.
Well, a multifunction printer with a scanner built into it, again, when you plug it in and you bring up Simple Scan, it should show it there. You saw my Epson printer.
Yeah.
It's a wireless printer across the room. I've never set up the scanner.
But that's what I'm wondering.
It took it.
If maybe Michael wasn't using Simple Scan, was trying to use another app.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've used, for example, in GIMP, there's a create and scan, and sometimes it won't work, so Simple Scan is just the de facto. I fall back on that.
So it might be just that simple as maybe you're looking at the wrong app? I don't know.
Maybe. Could be. Let us know, Michael. Let us know if that helped, all right? We've got to take a few moments to jump into the news.
Sure.
And then we're going to readdress, we're going to get right back to YouTube and start looking at all your comments and questions there. So stick around. Jeff, I'm going to throw it over to you in the newsroom.
All right. It's Tuesday, August 30th, 2016, and here are the stories we're covering this week. A successful experiment has transferred an entire DVD wirelessly in less than 10 seconds over more than 30 kilometers. Opera's password sync database has been compromised, and they're urging users to change their passwords. Google is going to start penalizing websites who use pop-up ads, and a piece of software allows a standard, unmodified USB flash drive to transmit data covertly to a nearby system, even if the systems are air-gapped. These stories are coming right up. Don't go anywhere. Now here's another great way you can support the shows you love from the Category 5.tv network by shopping at GearBest.
That's right, Jeff. cat5.tv/GearBest. It's an online store for the geek streak in you.
Or the loved ones.
Well, of course. I mean, especially your loved ones, right? Because cat5.tv/GearBest, quite frankly, has all of the greatest tech gifts that you could ever hope for at rock-bottom prices.
Do they have cell phones?
You betcha. Cat5.tv/GearBest has a wide assortment of unlocked Android cell phones and tablets.
What about consumer electronics? Those make a great gift.
Absolutely. From high-tech watches to action cameras, headphones, even virtual reality headsets. Cat5.tv/GearBest has you covered. They literally have it all, Jeff. Literally.
Really?
It's like a superstore right from the comfort of your own chair at your computer through the interweb.
Yeah. There's no way they have it all.
It's true.
It's just a bunch of random electronics.
Test me.
What about clothes?
Yep. Both men and women, fashionable apparel at rock-bottom super-duper prices.
Kind of like this?
Well, look at this coat. What do you think? It's a slimming mock leather jacket.
I love it.
It's available for less than $30 plus free shipping at cat5.tv/GearBest.
Yeah, all right. You kind of got me there.
Wow. Any other questions for me, Jeff?
Now that the winter has passed, flying season. Do they have any good deals on, say, drone copters?
Oh my goodness! Well, check this out. Dude, they have everything. Check out over 500 various drones. And not only that, they're available marked down by about 30 to up to 63% off the regular price.
Love it. What's the website again?
Well, you're going to find GearBest on our partners pages for any of your favorite Category 5 TV shows like New Every Day, Category 5 Technology TV, The Pixel Shadow. But of course, if you want to shop absolutely right now and you want to go straight to the site, all you have to do is visit cat5.tv/GearBest.
See, that's easy. cat5.tv/GearBest.
That's right. Happy shopping.
I'm Jeff Weston, and here are the top stories from the Category 5.tv newsroom. Transmitting the contents of a DVD in under 10 seconds by radio transmission is incredibly fast, and a new world record in wireless data transmission. With data rate of 6 gigabits per second over a distance of 37 kilometers, a collaborative project with the participation of researchers from the University of Stuttgart and Fraunhofer Institute of Applied Solid-State Physics, IAF, exceeded the state-of-the-art by a factor of 10. The extremely high data rate was achieved by the group through efficient transmitters and receivers at a radio frequency of 71 to 76 gigahertz in the so-called E-band, regulated for terrestrial and satellite broadcasting. Only in this frequency a range of millimeter waves are required. The high effective bandwidths available and the enormous data rates can be realized. I'm pretty sure I messed up that sentence somehow. Difficulty.
It's really fast.
That's right.
Very small wavelength.
It's very fast.
Very
It's
high
very
frequency.
small.
76 gigahertz? No.
Megahertz? Megahertz.
No, not megahertz. Gigahertz? No. Wow.
It did something.
Cancer causing.
Yeah, it did something with that thing at that place to the other place.
You heard it
with that
here,
stuff.
folks. You heard it here.
That's right.
All right.
Difficulty is weakening the signals over larger distances, though. The transmission has to be especially powerful, and the amplifiers have to be efficient. Now, the next generation of satellite communication requires an ever-increasing data offload from Earth observation satellites down to Earth. Supplying the rural area and remote regions with fast internet is possible, as shown in this trial. This is a cool story. I remember reading a news story, I don't remember if it was on the show, but about looking at doing satellite internet to remote areas.
Yeah.
So if this is what they're going for, and this is the way they're testing it, it's pretty cool.
You could get a lot of broadband internet on those kinds of speeds.
Yeah.
I mean, from a single signal going up to a satellite and back down to Earth. How many people could actually piggyback on that connection?
That's cool.
Very neat.
That's very cool. All right. Opera's Web Sync feature lets users synchronize their browser data and settings across multiple devices. Now, Opera is now warning users of the browser that an unknown hacker has managed to gain access to its sync system, potentially compromising the data of around 1.7 million users. The Norwegian company said in a blog post, "Some of our sync users' passwords and account information, such as login names, may have been compromised following the hack," and encouraged users to reset passwords for third-party sites. Now, although Opera only stores encrypted or hashed and salted passwords in the compromised system, they have reset all of the Opera Sync account passwords as a precaution. I don't think I've ever used Opera, so I think I'm probably safe.
Operetta, maybe.
I don't think I've used Operetta.
He missed it. GWG gets me.
Yep. All right. You're gonna have to fill
like
me in.
opera, like the music.
I've never been to an. Nope, never been to an opera.
All right.
I had to pause for a second. Been to the ballet, but never the opera.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. From Opera to Google, Google is going to be penalizing websites that feature intrusive pop-up advertisements. It's updating the algorithms used to rank its search results so that offending pages are more likely to get lower placings. Google makes much of its money from placing ads on the mobile web. One expert said that the company wanted to give users one less reason to use ad blockers or search within apps instead. For its part, Google said that the move should make using some of its results less frustrating. The change is due to come in effect on the 10th of January. So you're going to have to wait a little bit, but it's coming. Researchers have developed software that turns unmodified USB devices into covert transmitters that can funnel large amounts of data out of air-gapped PCs. The USB, so named because it behaves like a bee that flies through the air, taking bits from one place to another, is in many respects a significant improvement over the NSA-developed USB exfiltrator known as Cottonmouth. That tool had to be outfitted with a hardware implant in advance and then required someone to smuggle it into the facility housing the lockdown computer, which was being targeted. Now, USB, by contrast, turns USB devices already inside the targeted facility into a transmitter with no hardware malfunction required at all.
Modification. No
Modifications.
A lot of these devices require them to, like somebody to actually hack the device and put it
Right.
on site, but no.
Not so much now.
Right out of the box.
Yeah. Now, the researchers say we introduce a software-only method for short-range data exfiltration using electromagnetic emissions from a USB dongle. Unlike other methods, our method doesn't require any transmitting software since it uses the USB's internal data bus. The software works on just about any storage device that's compliant with the USB 2.0 specification. Now, some USB devices, such as certain types of cameras that don't receive a stream of bits from the infected computer, aren't suitable. USB transmits data at about 80 bits per second, fast enough to pilfer a 4096-bit encryption key in less than 10 seconds. This is kind of crazy.
You think you're safe with an air-gapped computer, which is
Yeah.
to say the computer is not connected to a network. It's not connected to the internet. It is air-gapped.
Right.
But someone can plug a USB flash drive into there or give you a flash or use just any USB flash drive to now transmit what's going on that air-gapped computer to another system.
Nothing is safe.
Conspiracy theories abound.
Yeah, see, and again, as I'm reading the story, I think of a Tom Clancy novel, because I'm a big Tom Clancy guy, where there was something done like this with USB devices.
There you go. Tom Clancy's in on the NSA conspiracies.
He does have...
That's a conspiracy about conspiracies, which isn't the same thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's passed away, but almost a year now. But yeah, he did have special secret security clearance with the Pentagon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he may have been in the know.
You never know.
You never know.
Took the secrets with him. All right, big thanks this week to Orange Man, Roy W. Nash, and our community of viewers for submitting stories to us. If you found a news story you'd like to send, email it to newsroom@category5.tv. For all your tech news with a slight Linux bias, visit the category5.tv TV newsroom at newsroom.category5.tv. From the Category5.tv newsroom, I'm Jeff Weston.
I just like to throw tongue twisters in there for you, Jeff.
Yeah, you know what? It's getting there.
C128D responded to episode number 465, the comments that we had there, and says, Robbie, if the information on your website that episode 1 aired on September 25th, 2007 is true, then YouTube was already around and active for 2 years when you started. You lied. The domain youtube.com was activated Monday, February 14th, 2005 at 9:13 p.m. I love the precision.
That's right.
How many seconds was that, C128D? I don't know about the validity of your statement if you don't know the seconds. The first video was uploaded on April 23rd, 2005. Facebook started over 3 years before Category 5 as well. Launching on February 4th, 2004. Although it wasn't open to the general public until 2006 in September. Still, that was a year before Category 5 launched. Okay.
Was that a discussion that you and I had?
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, Category 5 Technology TV began broadcasting in 2007, a live show. However, before that time, there was no live streaming available.
Right.
So we had videos that were recorded and then uploaded to online streaming services. So Category 5, in essence, was around well before Category 5 Technology TV existed. It was simply, it was just, I think it was like Tech Tips with Robbie Ferguson, technologist, or something silly like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing it forever.
It's been a very long time.
So that, but all your statements are no doubt true.
Yep.
I am a liar and a thief, and I apologize.
And shame on you.
Shame on me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
My statements were a little tongue-in-cheek, though. When I say we've been around since before YouTube, it's kind of a cocky thing to say. It's more like, yeah, I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek there. Although we had been broadcasting before HD was invented.
Yes.
In 1976.
I mean,
but
we have been doing this a long, I say we
doing it
because
a
I'm
long-
here now, but
Yeah,
I mean,
you're here.
you have been doing this a long time. Because I mean, I've been married 11 years.
Yeah.
And the show I was on, I don't even think I was dating my wife yet.
Well, you were on episode 4, so that was in 2007. That would have been October 2007.
Okay, well,
So you were married at that point.
I was.
However, we were doing stuff before we actually started doing the live broadcast.
I feel like I remember.
I think, no, it wasn't episode 4, it was episode 9. How's
9,
that?
yes.
Yeah. So that would have been November of 2007. Now you know.
Good times. All right.
What else have we got? All right. Mr. Vids.
Mr. Vids
Mr. Vids.
wants to know, why is it so difficult to find a list of the software packages that are stored within these repositories? Even after all these years, Linux developers sure don't make it easy for the average casual user to figure this stuff out. /var/lib/apt/lists/ then ls.
Oh, oh yeah, those are my notes.
Oh, those are your notes. Here I thought they were comments.
he's reading the question and then he's reading the answer that I jotted down here. That's just to give me, yeah.
Yeah, I thought those were notes saying,
Sorry, dude.
here's where you find it.
Mr. Vid says, why? You got to read it like that unless you're going to wrap it.
Why?
Why is it so notoriously difficult to find out the list of the packages in the repositories? That's where my note says, hey, dude, check out var/lib/app/lists.
Yes.
That's the point of that comment.
Okay.
I'm going to jump over to my Linux machine right up in this. And Mr. Vids, let's check it out. As Jeff added to your question, lib apt lists. Okay, so what this is these are the repositories that you have currently running in apt through your sources.list, okay? So you'll notice that there are some files here that end in _packages, and those files actually list all of the packages. So let's look at, for example, let's grab one of the main repositories that we use. So, and I know it looks a little complex, it's not really, but okay, here's AMD64 packages on the Debian mirror, okay? So if I copy that and I nano it, so that we can bring it up into an editor. There's what it looks like. Notoriously difficult, right? But here are the, okay, ALSA tools, package, ALSA firmware loaders. What a mess, eh? This has got all the, the SHA, MD5 sums of every package and blah, 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 where it's located. All right. Admittedly not ideal. So here's a quick tip for you. First of all, let's find out what package lists we have. So I can do that by going into the folder var lib apt lists and do an ls, which is to list the directory contents, and then I'm telling it to list only things that start with anything but end in _ packages with a capital P. And there's a list of all of my packages, package lists that I have. So again, I can copy any one of these, okay, and we're going to use a tool called grep to be able to find what it is we're looking for. So I can go grep, and now I want to look within that package. Remember when I brought it up in Nano? The first line here says package : and then the name is Alien Arena. And then if I scroll down, the next one is package : Alien Arena Server. And no matter where I go in this file of my list of packages in this repository, you'll see package : Chocolate Doom. Nice. Chocolate Doom? Is that a real thing?
I'm wondering if it's like a level in Doom fully made out of chocolate.
Oh, I want to eat it up. Okay, so let's clean it up. All right, so the way that we're going to do that is using grep. So as I showed you there, it all starts in packages : right? So what we want to do is we want to grep for that within the file. So we're going to go grep, and then we're using regex, but it's very simple regex, so we do need to open it with caret there, which is Shift-6 on my English American keyboard, and then package : with a capital P, because that's how it appears in the file. And then space and paste the name of the package list file that we already have in our clipboard. Now, if I hit enter, boom, I have a list of all the packages in that repository. Not overly difficult, is it? Because all we're doing is searching for, we're outputting all the lines that start with package : Let's take it one step further, because it kind of spewed all across our screen there, and let's add a pipe, and we're going to go less. What that does is it lets it paginate. So it starts with Alien Arena, Alien blah, 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 Atari 800. Nice.
Cool.
And then I hit space to scroll down. See? And then when I'm done looking at the package list, I can hit Q and it will exit. Similarly, I can take that output from this, which is just an output of all this stuff, and I can actually save it to a file. So I can do that by not piping, but chevroning it, outputting it, redirecting it to a file. So let's just call it my list. Okay, so in temp, and then hit enter, and you notice there's no output. But now, do I have Pluma on here? What have I got? I'm on Mate, so, on Mate, so I believe it is Pluma. Temp my list. Enter. There we go. So there is a file, a text file, containing all of those packages from that one repository. So it's as simple as that. If you want to get everything from all of them, just instead of putting the file name of the packages list in that folder, you can just do star underscore packages with a capital P.
Simple. Even I can do it.
Not that complicated. I know it does look a little bit complicated because we're doing it through the terminal, but when it boils down to it, you're really just doing a find operation within that folder.
Right.
And a real quick, a really, really quick way to do it from anywhere would, now that you know where it's located and all that, you could just, say I'm in my home folder, I could go ls/var lib apt lists *_ packages, enter, and that will give me that list without ever having to CD, without ever having to do anything. And then I can copy any one of them, and notice that now it actually contains the path to that file. So now even though I'm in my home folder, I can type grep package : and then paste. And there we go. There's that one I just picked one at random. That was just updates. And there you have it. It's got Clam AV and a Spam Assassin and things like that. So really not overly complex.
Pretty simple.
Thanks for the question, and I hope that helps. I know sometimes it's frustrating if you don't know where to look, but that's part of what this show represents, is giving you a place to look. Why don't you just get on over to our community, category5.tv, join us, be a part of things here, and get your questions in. I'm happy to do my best to answer them for you. Are you ready to read this one in a rap song?
A rap song?
No, you can do it however you want, but
I have not prepped a rap song.
Read it the way Mandalore06 would read it. This is from... based on our discussion on episode 459, which at this point
I don't recall.
We'll watch it later.
All right. So Mandalore 06 says, "You think the government's use of drones is awesome? Seriously? Do you not see that the proliferation of drones is going to take even more of the little privacy that we have left? The government already tracks us with networked cameras and our personal electronics. Now they'll be able to follow and potentially attack us regardless of where we are without us ever knowing."
I'm very bad at sign language.
Evidently. As you said yourselves, drones are nearly invisible. They're so highly mobile and capable of subduing targets with no threat to officers. How is one supposed to defend against that? If you trust the government to use tech responsibly, you are fools.
I trust no one.
If you value your privacy and freedom that little, you are worse than fools. Politics aside, your tutorials are well done. Keep them coming.
Thank you for sandwiching that within within compliments. Dude, Mandalore 06. We live in Canada, and admittedly, things are different here than a war zone.
We have rubber duckies for submarines and super soakers.
We got stuff, but my point is, when I say drone, I'm shooting video. I've got a toy drone that I'm racing with my friends.
Yeah, we're not talking war drones.
These are not the traditional old style use of the word, which is a bombing machine. Okay, so when we're talking about drones, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the new fandangled meaning of the word, which admittedly, okay, it can cause some confusion for certain areas, because drone to someone in a war area would be a weapon. Well, to us here, and to because drones and quadcopters and all those things have so saturated the toy market, because now it's a totally different era in RC controlled toys. That's what we're referring to, and the word drone has changed its definition over the past couple of years. So,
and I could be wrong, but I think from a military perspective, they're called UMAVs, unmanned aerial vehicle.
Okay, which we also call quadcopters that are toys.
Right.
I have nanoquads that you'd call a UMAV.
You could. But I think, I don't know.
So that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
So do we think the government's use of drones is awesome? Well, if used for crime fighting, like superhero style, then great. And I think that was what we were talking about, being able to chase down follow a criminal that is stealing stuff on a motorbike.
That might be.
Right?
I do recall that discussion.
So
I think that was a news story.
That particular drone was a video drone, an FPV video drone, to be able to follow a criminal and find them and find their location so that authorities can come and do what they do.
Right.
These drones are not carrying a bomb or any kind of payload in that sense. They're just carrying a video camera. So the police or whoever it is can see through first-person view, be it goggles or on a screen, they can follow someone that they can't normally follow, because these motorcyclists will swerve in and out of traffic and then a cop can't follow them.
Right.
So they follow them with a drone, they find out where they went, then they know where they are.
And really,
that's all. It's not a bomb.
It's no different than a news chopper. I mean, like,
that's right.
You go back and think of, like, the O.J. Simpson 7-hour Bronco chase.
Oh my gosh.
Like, how is that?
It's a cheaper way to do it. You can't fly a news chopper through the streets of Manhattan.
Yeah, but how is that any different?
We have here, when you're driving down the highway, we've got drones in the air, quadcopters, hexacopters, whatever, that are controlled by police that check for speeders.
Yep.
And again, they've got maybe radar on them, just like a radar gun that would tell them if you're speeding. They've got cameras so that the police can see from up high that, hey, there's speeders, and they can then cover a huge amount of area without having to have a whole bunch of cars along the side of a highway.
Yeah.
So when we talk about drones and the use of drones for military, not military, but government use, that's what we're referring to,
Yeah.
not payloads that carry bombs and things like that. So admittedly, a big difference there, Mandalore 06, and thanks for calling us on it.
Yeah.
We've got time for a couple more, even though we have no time. We got time.
We've got a short one.
Let's do this.
Okay, so it's from Christopher Cunningham and asks,
Hey, Chris.
if I turn my Raspberry Pi 3 into a Plex Media Server, can I also use the connected hard drive as a network drive to save other files?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Your Raspberry Pi is a Linux server in all essences, so you could install Samba on it and share that USB drive. You create a folder on the USB drive, the external hard drive, and call it My Share, and then share it using Samba. And you can even use the GUI tools because our Raspberry Pi, if you followed our directions to get Plex Media Server on there, it has the GUI, so you could use the GUI tools to share the folder. Using Samba, it becomes a Windows shared folder, and then as long as that's connected and available, you can access it through your Windows share. From your Windows machines or your Linux machines and through Windows sharing.
Earlier in the show, I mentioned that I have an external hard drive hooked up to my Pi.
Yeah.
Which I have Plex on, and Plex is my server.
So the external hard drive is your media library and all that?
It is. Now,
Great.
It's not connected to my network. It's through the Pi, but I do have a separate folder that has files on it.
So you're actually physically taking them to the Pi and putting them on?
Yeah. So I'll take off my hard drive, go to my computer, plug it in, and transfer things.
Okay.
But then when I put it back,
that's a little different. Yeah.
It is a little bit different, but all of my non-Plex designated files are in another folder. So you can have things separated.
Absolutely. But you know what? You and Chris alike could set up a share to that folder.
Yes.
Using Samba. Like all you have to do is install Samba and then set up the configuration to point to that folder, and you create a Windows network share. So then you would, on a Windows machine, you would type / what is it? Raspberry, or is it Pi?
I think
Pi is the name of the device.
Yeah.
So / Pi / my share.
Right.
And then you've got access to it, so you can write your files there, copy files back and forth through the network.
Yep.
Similarly, on a Linux machine, you can type smb : / pi / my share, and you can access it that way. Or you can set it up as a mount point. You can set it up as a mapped drive on Windows, or set it up as a mount point on your Linux machine, so that it is always there on all of your computers.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Should we do one last quick question?
Please.
Okay.
Can we do 12?
One.
All right. I know I set the bar high, but Brittany really wants you to wrap this one.
No.
All right.
I'm preparing to install Ubuntu 16.4 desktop on a fresh hard drive, and I'd like to incorporate all these great LVM rsync capabilities. Should I expect to be able to follow the same instructions as those you've covered with Mate in the initial setup? Thanks, as always, guys.
All right. We showed you how to create LVM on an Ubuntu Mate install.
Yes.
So the question is, if I don't want Ubuntu Mate, I just want to do Ubuntu, will it work the same? And yes. So that's the beautiful thing. Ubuntu Mate is piggybacking off of Ubuntu, so the installer's the same. You're going to have the same prompts and all that kind of stuff. The one thing that you might hit if you already had something installed on that hard drive, you might not have the option to create an LVM. And we never covered this. But the reason for that is because there's already stuff there. So it doesn't have the ability to just take over the drive and create an LVM. It wants an absolutely empty drive. So the way around that is, knowing that you're going to wipe the drive anyways, you can actually remove all the partitions first and then go through the installation procedure. So if you encounter that LVM is grayed out as an option during the installer, first, remove all of the partitions from that hard drive, and you can do that using the manual partition wizard that's included in the installer, or use gparted if you want to bring up the live mode on the CD, or the if you're using a USB flash drive, that's fine too, and that'll do it for you.
Yep.
And just make sure you got a backup of any files that are important that are on that drive, because you're going to be wiping it completely clean, and it's really hard to get them back once you remove the partitions.
Always. All right.
Thanks for the question, Brittany. Jeff, always a pleasure having you here. Thanks for being here,
My
man.
pleasure to be here.
Thanks for making it, even though you were broken down at the side of the road.
No problem. We got here in the nick of time.
You weren't even out of
3 minutes
breath.
to go.
And thank you so much for being here. Please do support us on Patreon. You can find out more at cat5.tv/Patreon. I told you I'd tell you all about it. Basically, for just 25 cents per episode of Category 5 Technology TV, you can help us make this happen. It takes 1,000 people giving just 25 cents per episode, and all of our main bills would be paid. So that's our internet and our rent, basically. So you can help us get there. Just head on over to cat5.tv/Patreon. And for those of you who are already supporting us on Patreon, thank you so much. Our patrons really help us to make this possible, and it's thanks to them that this is freely available to you. And, of course, those who support us through our partners and all the other ways that you can support us. Thank you. And we receive some donations as well. I don't want to just put it all on Patreon, but it's an awesome way to support us. And for just $0.25, you're going to be able to help us out. So go to cat5.tv/Patreon. And in the meantime, we'll be back again next week. Don't forget, we've got a big, huge announcement coming next week. It's going to be amazing. It's going to blow your mind. Don't miss it. That's next Tuesday night.
Thanks. Have a good one.
See you then.